Hi. Welcome to Stayfhomekins. My name is Paul F. Tompkins.
He's a comedian. My name is Janie Haddad Tompkins.
She's an actress.
Together, we're the co-hosts of Stayfhomekins.
We are a married couple under quarantine. We have recording equipment, and this is the result.
So we do this thing once a week, I guess.
For 38 weeks now.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. We didn't even start at the beginning of the pandemic.
What? True. But we did start early.
We did start early.
Because we were like, we got to do something. We're stuck at home. We got to do something. By the way, we are stuck at home.
By the way, guess what? We're stuck at home.
We for real are, because California's gone back to draconian, I don't know, everything's open but you can't go anywhere measures.
Listen, you are forbidden to go anywhere unless you need to go somewhere, and here's the places you can go if you need to go: everywhere.
I'm furious about it because you know what?
It's absurd.
Take a stand.
Yeah, it's all yeah. Here's the thing.
Pay people to stay home if you don't want them to go to work.
We barely had in Los Angeles, a lockdown in the first place before they projected a date when they thought it was going to be cool to open things up again, and then it wasn't, and they were like, "Nah, we still like that date, so we're going to open things up." And
a lot of stuff was closed though for a long time, like salons,
for a while, yes, and then they opened those things up.
Yeah, then they opened them up, and I don't know if anything's really restaurants, they won't let you in even eat outside now.
Yes.
So you have to do takeout and delivery.
Yes.
Look,
it's a mess, everybody.
It is so convoluted and messed up.
It's both of those.
They need to be like, look, we know no one's paying you to stay home, but if you can stay home, please do so. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just like no one's doing anything.
No one's doing anything.
Everybody got $1,200 at one time.
They announced a vaccine. And they were like, "Okay, cool. Let's let it get out of control." I don't know. Anyway, we really are staying home.
We have been pretty.
We've been doing all our work from the Zoom, and the pudding pops. Don't get me started. I know, because someone mentioned him earlier today, and I had a big conversation about it.
He comes up a lot. Scott Ackerman will figure out a way to mention him on Freedom every episode. It's quite something.
It's
quite something.
He does?
Yes.
Scott.
And every week I think, every week I forget about it, and then it happens, and I'm like, wow.
I mean, I did it just now.
What?
And then I did it just now.
And then you did it just now. Hey, he's in the zeitgeist.
Well, it was because someone else brought him up to... It's a long story.
We won't even say his name.
And then, I'd like to raise the glass to Hannibal Buress, the comedian who...
Sure.
Because, he's the reason that people started paying attention to that story about...
Yes, it was like a known thing.
I know some people might, even at this point, not know who we're referring to.
Well, you're lucky. And
he had a show called...
it was named after him.
He was in he shilled for pudding pops. Very avuncular seeming.
Big believer in education. He wants you to pull up your pants. Okay.
I don't remember. Oh, I remember that. If y'all still don't know who it is, just hopefully you follow us on Twitter and someone else will tell you.
I bet people know. Can we talk about the tree?
I want to talk about the tree, but I have a lot to say about it.
Yes. Now, last week, I think
we
had just put up the decorations.
About certain decorations.
Yes, we will talk
about where I'm going with this?
Of course I do.
It's been our whole week, by the way, y'all.
So we got the tree a couple days ago.
We did. We went on Tuesday. We scheduled it for Tuesday specifically.
Yes.
Because I had some blue jeans going on on Monday.
That's right. Some Blue Janies.
Had some Blue Janies.
Shout out to Tina's Trees in Sherman Oaks.
Oh yeah, Tina's Trees. They were wonderful.
I saw a lot of pictures on Instagram of people that we know or that we are acquainted with buying Christmas trees, looking at Christmas trees, and it all looked like Tina's Trees to me. And I was like, wow, maybe the word is out. And then I realized maybe all these places just look exactly the same.
It's just an open air tent with a bunch of trees.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
exactly.
Maybe
some
like,
hay.
Hey,
we were just there.
Some hay spread on the ground or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look.
But we got it's a beautiful tree, Fraser fir.
It is really beautiful.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it. We picked a good one.
I mean, probably get a fake one that looks just like that, but
now here's the thing. Last year, we got a tip from our friends Matt and Amanda.
Yeah.
About these Christmas lights called Twinkly.
Yeah.
These are app-controlled
Wi-Fi.
LED. Yeah, well, I thought by app controlled that was you don't have to
Wi-Fi.
plug your phone into the lights.
Wi-Fi light. Okay. They're fucking
they are app-controlled LED lights. You can do all sorts of colors, patterns, routines with them. We got a couple strands of them last year. We loved them. I loved them so much that I went out, and I think I first bought one strand.
You bought a couple on sale.
Got them on sale.
Because it was like they were in the half-off bin after. You got to get them right after Christmas.
Yes.
That's when you get the deal, the
Which
bargain on
it. I did. Did we have the lights up already, the old lights, and then I went and got these, or no?
Oh, yeah. You got those lights out the garage, and then, like, I don't know, they were like, I don't know if you put them on.
the ceramic bulb lights.
Yeah. And then we found, I don't think it was Matt and Amanda.
Honey, who was it?
I think it was Martin and Melissa.
Are you sure?
Somebody was showing off their... No, I think it was Martin and Melissa.
This is interesting.
And we saw it on their post or something, and then it was like, what? Oh, wait. Maybe it was Matt and Amanda got them because Matt would know about them. I feel like Matt would have been.
Exactly.
Matt's the one.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument,
I swear to God, Matt.
that it was Matt and Amanda.
Martin.
And you know what? If we're wrong, we'll, of course, issue an apology. We'll post an apology on Instagram.
Oh, you just reminded me of something I have to announce before the end of the show.
Okay.
It's not an apology.
So these are app-controlled
Yeah.
LED lights.
Yeah. They're
all
called
kinds of colors, patterns.
They're called
Twinkly.
Twinkly, y'all.
We got 2 strands last year. We loved them.
The best things. I couldn't wait for Christmas just so we could put up the Twinklies.
I went and bought 2 more strands after that on sale, so that the next year we could do like the real. We're going to do it up right.
It was going to be dense.
You could make all these shapes.
It was
going to be flags and shit like that.
It wasn't going to be like sparse.
It was going to be dense.
It was going to be dense.
Dense, not sparse.
Well,
we plug in we get the
Tuesday.
tree.
And by the way, the tree situation, I don't care how prepared we are.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ordeal. Okay? It's just like an ordeal.
Okay, tell me more.
Like the going out to the valley. Then okay, we got to wait to pay people. I mean, and then I overheard the lady when we were paying say, and mind you, we went on Tuesday, and it was the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
That's right.
And the lady overheard say they sold half their lot on the weekend.
Yeah.
So, like, so you're looking around and you're like, I don't want a Noble. I don't want a Nordman or whatever. And then you're like, where's the Frasers? And there's like kids with sticky hands running around and stuff. And then it's like, and then you got to pay. And then they got to strap it on. I mean, then you got to wait. Because they're handling like 20 other people's tree. Then they got to chop the bottom. This time was less, but then it's the driving.
It was very efficient.
Then I got to drive with the tree. I don't drive on the freeways with the tree. I take surface streets. That's my personal credo that I go by.
Let me say this now. I'll volunteer next year to drive so we can put the tree on my car.
I have the bigger car, which is why,
Yeah, but the tree doesn't sit in the car with us.
No, but you could have driven my car.
True, but I'll drive my car, which is smaller. My car's electric. And then the tree will look even bigger.
We took a picture with it on my car, and it looked smaller than it is. It's a 7.5 foot tree.
Yeah, on top of the car, it really did look like we made a mistake. And then once we got it inside, it's the perfect size.
No, actually, the size was like we know the size of our window.
Look, we know the size of our window.
That's our thing.
We have a big picture window in the front of our house, and it's perfect for exactly this.
We move furniture around. We do a thing. It's like a thing.
We do, guys. You don't even want to know.
But there were needles, y'all. There were needles. I had to get the vacuum out. It's like every little movement, there's needles.
Fewer this year, though, I got to say.
So far. Wait till it starts dying and shedding.
So we get the tree all set up. And
this is Paul's time to shine. I mean, like,
I love
honestly, this is like, Paul, like, hauled all the decorations out I mean, like, this is like, I mean, I'm just like, whatever. Like, you do you.
You did not have to lift a finger. It all happened around you.
I can't. Because it's not my thing.
It's not your thing.
It's not my thing.
And it's fine.
It's fine. Everybody has their thing.
Everybody has their thing. So, get that tree up.
Yeah.
Give it some water. Now
By the way, it took like 6 carafes of water to get it, like,
this tree you have to feed by the carafe. We probably could just do the hose.
Drag the hose in the house?
It's so close to the door.
No, it's filthy. No. No. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
No.
So I wrap the lights around the tree, and I'm being very mindful of, like, evenly distributing it, which is a very difficult thing to do. It's like you don't want to run out too soon, and you don't want to, like, spread it out too far so that the one strand goes all the way up to the top. Like, I really tried to space it out, and I thought I did a pretty good job. We plugged the lights in. Very exciting. The lights light up right away. Blah, blah, blah. Try to connect it. Now, the thing is, you got to connect them. They each come with their own little Wi-Fi network. And the idea is you set all of them up, and then you put them all in one group so you can control them all at the same time from your home Wi-Fi network. Well,
maybe this is where I should take over, because this is like, he's got his thing and I have my thing. And my thing is, if there is a tech issue, a tech issue.
If there's a tech issue.
I have to figure it. Like, yes. I literally have to figure it out.
Janie will stay on customer support. Stay on the phone with customer support all goddamn day.
I will, like, I made a tweet joke this week where I was like, if I had the same drive with my career as I do with, like, customer support, that I would, like, own all of Hollywood. And that is not an exaggeration, but also, like, just like with tech stuff, like, I feel like I know a little something. I don't know a lot. Like, I don't know how to, like, you know, reconfigure, set up a whatever mesh. I probably could figure it out, but these lights, unfortunately, will not connect to our home's Wi-Fi network. Something changed between last year and this year. A lot of things changed that were just minute, and whatever they were. Like, there was a firmware update on the lights, and then we had to get a new router in the middle of the year because of working from home. Like, AT&T had to replace the thing, and
here's what I think. So we tried a million different things.
Oh, I will go over everything I've tried.
Because
I'm hoping someone from Twinkly listens to this. But here's the thing. I found out they are actually based in Italy.
See.
So whenever I'm speaking on
come si dice Twinkly.
on the chat, I'm speaking to Italians. And I have to be mindful of what time it is in Italy.
Buongiorno, signora. How may I help you with the Twinkly?
They're lovely, but they cannot figure out our problem.
No.
And they also only write you back after 48 hours.
I feel like it's got to be that firmware update because that is the biggest thing that has changed, and it's changed in the lights themselves.
Okay, here's the deal. Because I've gone deep. This is like
it really forced us to look back over the past year. What are we doing different with our router?
Okay, first of all, someone out there is going to know something. I'm hoping. Because
I hope so. I hope it's not just people telling us things we already tried.
Because, okay, first of all, what I learned.
We did not mean this, by the way, to be a call for tech support. But if it
I
ends up
did.
being one,
I kind of did.
Okay.
I was kind of hoping that there was someone that's like, I'm a fucking expert and I'll figure. So, okay. So.
My name is Armando Twinkly.
I would love to visit the town where Twinkly is based, wherever they're based.
In a little villa.
You know, they're like in probably like an office part, like like on The Office or something.
Just north of Tuscany, there lies a simple stone cottage.
All right.
Just like an old lady in black with like a gray bun. She's making LED lights. Sewing them together.
She makes handmade.
Yeah.
She makes handmade tortellini, but also
she's like pouring LED into a bulb shape.
Okay. All right. Here's what you need to know. We have the Generation 1 Twinklies.
Yeah, so what? Yeah, we know there's a couple generations since then.
We have the Generation 1. I'm furious because I want them to just like upgrade our switches to generation. I even said that in the latest email. I was like, I think it's a hardware issue. And you need.
You should send us new lights.
I don't want new lights. I want a new switch because the switch detaches from the lights, doesn't it?
No.
Switch detaches.
The switch detaches from the power box, but it does not detach from the controller.
Well, that's stupid.
I agree, honey.
Also,
I couldn't agree more.
Also, Twinkly, if you're listening, we have 4 strands.
4 strands, Twinkly.
Why can't the strands connect to be operated off of one switch? That's my point.
Exactly. Well, but see, they're saying if you group them together, then that's how you're doing that. That's the equivalent of the old strands, light strands that would plug into each other.
I get that, but we have to have 4 different sockets for these things.
Yes.
And they're on 4 different little dedicated Wi-Fi channels.
Yes.
Okay, so here's what I learned. This is the most boring episode of Stay Focused probably in the world.
So far.
Wait till you find wait till I tell you the emotional side of this.
Yeah, stay tuned. Look, how can you have your pudding if you don't eat your meat? So just hold on.
There were emotional repercussions to this event.
Emotional repercussions.
There were. Like somehow my self-worth became wrapped around like every morning I've gotten up at the crack of dawn and have taken a crack.
It's true. That is true.
I
wake up and she's already like in a chair next to the Christmas tree looking at her phone.
And I've got like 3 conversations. Okay. So the thing I learned is they only connect to a 2.4 gigahertz radio band on the Wi-Fi. So, if you're not
because that's how
2.4 gigahertz radio band,
because Mama loves 2.4.
So, at some point, when the AT&T replaced our router, they sent us, oh my God, a dual band 5 gigahertz, 2.4 gigahertz radio router that channels your devices to the proper rate. So
this is after we had so many internet problems that our internet company was like, oh yeah, we're doing a thing where we're upgrading people to internet that works. Everyone was on the internet that didn't work, and then we got a new thing where now the internet works.
And for like weeks, I would see AT&T trucks in the neighborhood with those big ladders, where I was like, what are they doing? I know they're I know they're putting fiber optic in, but
they're pouring more internet into the wires.
But it didn't make sense that they were in every little corner of the neighborhood all the time, because I was like, wait, I know they did the fiber optic, whatever. So it could only connect to a 2.4. So I had to then go into the Wi-Fi advanced settings.
Jesus.
And separate the 2.4 from the 5, which I've done maybe 10 times this week. Rebooting the router and then having to reset all 4 twinkly lights through their little cycle to go back to factory settings each time and remove them.
We've been rebooting things like it's a fun thing that we like to do. Like, hey, you want to reboot this?
So then
it's been a while since we rebooted this. Let's reboot it.
So then I'm like, forget the 5G network. Forget it. I only want to be in the 2.4. Y'all, it didn't. Every time. It didn't work. So then I was like, okay. So then I'm going deep in the Wi-Fi, and I'm like, okay, this is set privacy. This is set for privacy. This is set for auto join. It's obviously auto joining the wrong. I have to make everything manual. I'm going so deep in, and I literally cannot figure out how to get them to connect to our home Wi-Fi.
It's maddening because there's on the little box, there's a green light that means this is turned on and plugged in, right? And then there's a blue light.
And that blue light's supposed to turn blue once it gets on your home Wi-Fi, and we can never get it to even.
No, it turns on for a few seconds, and then it goes away.
I think it was their firmware update, and you know what? I call bullshit. On that firmware.
Twinkly, we're calling bullshit on your firmware update. You need to fix this update. There's got to be. Have we looked to see if anyone else is complaining about this?
People have complained, but they don't have the exact same issues that we. Look, I've been on Reddit. I've watched some YouTube videos. I've been on
Parler.
Parlay, don't you know?
What?
It's like Emily in Paris.
No.
Yeah.
It's pronounced parlay?
Yeah.
Where did you find this information?
Twitter, where I find out all my information. People tweet things, and that's how I learn about anything.
You sure this wasn't a wrong answers only tweet? How do you pronounce this word, wrong answers only? Parlay?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Look, is there a Wi-Fi expert out there? I need a Wi-Fi expert. I need you to come over. I mean, here's what I really want to do. I want to disable the 5 gigahertz altogether, not even have it be a choice. I did try that. I tried to disable it, but then it was so slow. It
strong.
Couldn't. It was not
too strong.
No,
to
it's
disable.
too weak. It was too basically. At this point, I want to throw the lights out the window. At this point,
no. Here's the thing. The worst case scenario is they still function as very pretty Christmas lights.
No.
But knowing that they can do all these things that they won't do is infuriating.
Yeah. Okay, so
That's like if somebody gave you an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, for whatever, you had it, and then you put it in a drawer for a year. You brought it out the next year. All it could do was make phone calls.
Or you could text, but it was like your old Motorola, where you had to go through each.
Well, what's wrong with my example?
Because that's frustrating when you had to go through each.
T9?
Yeah.
We don't need to revisit this, but I was great at T9 texting.
That's true. You're pretty good.
Thank you. Pretty good?
I meant great. Did I say pretty good?
I was capitalizing shit. I was great.
So of course, like I'm doing all these resets, which means you have to like crawl and like I'm like sweating and like getting underneath. Like I need like army fatigues or
like
something.
All this shit is already plugged in and on the tree. You shouldn't be like that. Should be the end of sweat.
But then I'm like creating more needles, so then I have to go get the fucking. And it's not just vacuuming. Like I have to get out the hose part of the vacuum to suck around the crevices of the tree stand. And I was like at one point I was like across the room and I was like, I see pine needles, like in Sixth Sense, you know. I see dead people. Yeah, I see pine needles.
Your memory of his delivery of that line is not.
Is that not how he did it?
Accurate.
How do you do it?
No, he didn't say it like a threat.
I see.
No.
Wait, I got it. Wait, let me recall it.
Okay.
Let me recall.
Okay.
Let me recall.
Go into your mind palace. No. Absolutely not.
Stop! You interrupted. I didn't even get to finish. Do I not get? I don't get a callback.
No, it can't get accurate at the end. It's a 4-word line.
I see.
What? I tell you what. Why don't you go take some time with the sides, and we'll call you back in a little bit.
God, this is a disaster. This is a disaster. I'm being told to take time with the sides. No, let me do it again. One time. This is in New York. When we were living in New York, and I had
Concrete Jungle, Where Dreams Are Made Of.
Fifth character in Sex and the City.
That's right.
The only character in Gangs of New York.
The only. The only character.
Okay.
You're like giddy tonight.
Because I've been broken by the twinkling light.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing, y'all.
True.
Like at some point, I was like ignoring like business emails. I was like, I had forgotten I had a dead.
You really went Ahab on these lights.
I had like forgotten I had a voiceover audition due, and I literally turned it in like half an hour before the deadline. And I was like, I knew it was like, then I remembered and I was like, oh, like I still haven't done it. And I was like, well, let me just reset these 4 strands again. Wait, I was like, I figured it out. It's the settings on the Wi-Fi or whatever. And I was like, I was like go through the whole process again, whatever. So anyway, one time, this was in New York, and somehow I got to be like a reader for like a casting office.
The reader. I didn't see the reader. Do you remember that?
What?
Do you remember that year that Hugh Jackman hosted the Oscars and he was really good?
I don't remember the Oscars being really good.
Well, they were really good for the Oscars.
What year was that? I don't remember that.
This was a while ago, but it was the year that The Reader was up for an Oscar.
Well, that movie
yes.
was so...
And he did like an opening musical number.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This sounds familiar.
Where they sang little songs about each nominee.
Yes.
Each Best Picture nominee.
Yes, that's cute. I like when they do that.
And when it got to The Reader, the song was about how he had not seen the movie. And it was... It was hilarious.
You know what? Good for him. You know what? Honesty is the best policy.
Couldn't agree more, honey. Couldn't agree more. But I couldn't believe it. It was so funny because it felt like, yeah, nobody has seen this movie.
I mean, maybe I didn't see it. Was Glenn Close in it?
Nope. It was Kate Winslet.
Oh, Kate
She was
Winslet.
nominated for that too.
Well,
do you remember when I did that talk show with Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, he was in love with you. He was like
very
in
nice.
love with him.
It was me, Hugh Jackman, and Tim Gunn.
And it was an Australian comedian.
Rove McManus, and he was hosting a show for Australian television here in Los Angeles.
And I got to go to the taping, so I got to see it.
It was a blast.
By the way, they must have better television there because there's nothing that fun interview-wise in America.
We did try to watch Mystery Road.
What was that again?
See?
Oh, that one. I meant like better talk shows.
Yeah.
That's what I
meant.
meant.
That's the only one I've experienced. And of course, Dame Edna. Anyway,
so as a reader.
The reader, yes. Which means what? You were reading scripts.
So basically what it means is you're a scene partner for somebody.
Oh.
So like if you're coming into audition for the part of The Sixth Sense.
Right. Haley Joel Osment.
Then I might be the
what
Bruce.
was his name?
I don't know what his name was. You think I've memorized every M. Night Shyamalan movie?
I don't
know how to say M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
How do you say it?
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
Yes. Because there's a Y in it.
Shyamalan.
Yes. Shyamalan.
Am I saying it right?
You are saying it right.
But why is it M. Night? What's his name? How do you say it?
I think it's Michael Knight, like the Knight Rider.
But do people
I don't know
call
what his
him
first name
M.
is.
Night?
I think people call him Knight.
Oh, they call him Knight?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Cute.
It's adorable. You know, he's from Philly.
Oh, I know he's from Philly.
But why can't I remember the name of Haley Joel Osment's character in The Sixth Sense?
I
really enjoyed that movie.
I don't think that was a big part of it, was his name.
No, but I mean, they say, I remember other characters' names from
do?
movies. From some
Oh,
movies,
I thought you were going to say Sixth Sense. I don't remember anybody.
I don't remember Bruce Willis's character's name either. Dr.
I'm going to spoil that movie for everybody.
Crownschmidt?
Am I allowed to spoil it?
I think it's safe. I think everyone knows.
Bruce Willis doesn't play it. He's dead in it. He's a ghost.
He doesn't what?
He doesn't play an alive person.
Spoiler alert, Bruce Willis does not play an alive person. What a passive spoiler.
Also, by the way.
Just so you know, cover your ears for a second. Bruce Willis does not play an alive person.
By the way, he's dead.
Yeah.
But he looks alive.
True. Very true.
So when...
To us and to little boy who sees dead people.
So when Haley Joel Osment's character says, I see dead people, what he's really saying is, I see people. But it turns out some of them, other people don't see.
What? No. He's very clear. He says, I see dead people.
But they look alive. To be fair, I would have thought he was alive too. Because he looks it. He fucking looks it.
He looks so alive, he didn't even realize he was dead.
I'm never getting through this reader story.
Sorry. How about this? We'll take a break.
Oh, good, because...
Regroup, and then we'll come back.
Oh, we're going to regroup?
I love giving a cliffhanger. We're gonna take a break.
When you're listening to these beautiful words from our sponsors, I might try to get on the Wi-Fi.
No, because you'll get sucked in, like the Matrix.
Also, I'll come back a broken person.
That's true. When we return, the beginning and conclusion of Janie's reader story. More when Stay F. Homekins return.
If you enjoy drinking wine and you are listening to this, I have to tell you, you're probably doing it the old-fashioned way because you're not trying usual wines. Usual wines are for the modern drinker, and they are made from world-class AVAs, American Viticultural Area, in California like Napa, Sonoma, and Santa Barbara, and are made with minimal intervention, 0 sugar, and 0 additives. Oh, but don't grapes contain sugar, Janie? Yes. To clarify, all usual wines are produced using natural, sustainable grapes harvested every fall. Doesn't that sound better? Natural and sustainable? These grapes are picked at optimal ripeness to ensure all sugar will be fermented completely until the wines are dry with no residual sugar. They also have a special holiday product coming called Usual Reserve. It's an ultra-premium, limited edition Mount Veeder Cabernet Sauvignon. So please go to www.usualwines.com, use our discount code STAYFHOMEKINS for $8 off your first order, and check out their beautiful selection. Usualwines.com with discount code STAYFHOMEKINS. You know what I love? Meal kit delivery subscriptions. And Stay of Homekins is proud to be sponsored this week by Green Chef. Green Chef is now owned by HelloFresh, and we love switching back and forth between the two for variety. Green Chef is a USDA certified organic company that makes eating well easy and affordable with plans to fit every kind of lifestyle. They include recipes for paleo, keto, and plant-powered diets. You get to decide. Let Green Chef do the meal planning, grocery shopping, and most of the prep for you week after week. Personally, this is why I love using Green Chef. It takes some of the mental load off while we're staying home more. Green Chef's expert chefs design flavorful recipes for your lifestyle that go way beyond ordinary. And we have a deal for you, Stay F Homekins listeners. Go to greenchef.com/homekins90 and use code homekins90 to get $90 off, including free shipping.
Well, that was
previously on Stay F Homekins.
Are you going to finish?
JD was about to tell her reader story.
And that was a lovely word from Usual Wines and Green Chef.
Thanks, Yush. Thanks, Green.
Thanks, Greenie.
Thank you, Greenie. We love you.
Thank you, Yush.
Yush. Hi, Yush.
Hey, Yush.
I hope that catches on.
Get your meal kits. Get your wine delivery. Use our promo codes. And hopefully you can, save some money. I don't know.
Man, I hope so. We all need to.
It's definitely. All right.
It's so funny that the government was like, we're going to give you $1,200 once.
It's insane. Oh, not give you $1,200 once. Like, it's our money. That's our money, y'all.
Yeah.
That's our money.
Yeah.
It's not their money. They are looking after it for us.
Yes, thank you. And doing a bang-up job.
And doing things that are supposed to benefit a lot of people at once with it.
I didn't mean to go down this road. I want to hear your reader story. I know. I shouldn't have brought it up.
They might pass something, they're saying now.
Okay. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. So So sometimes actors, if can't remember how I got connected this way, but it was like through acting class. I was volunteering, or I was getting paid like $100 for the day to be a reader for this
reader
for this casting office in New York. And and by the way, there are stories, and there's one happening at the moment where people are like, yeah, I went in and I volunteered, and I was reading for the part all day, and they just decided they liked my interpretation like the best. And then I got like a 5-season deal on network, whatever, and whatever. So I'm like, yeah, this is a good opportunity. I'll go do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was saying, like, so the actress who plays Princess Diana in The Crown, that was her story.
Yes. Oh, really?
Yeah. She was a reader.
A reader? But that only happens in England.
No,
but you're saying back when you were a reader, you had heard a story like that.
Oh, I've heard many stories like that. Like,
maybe the name Gene Hackman rings a bell?
Did he? I wouldn't be surprised. I think in New York, in like more old school. Cuckoo.
Oh, Cuckoo, hi. That's right.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, so basically, like,
we don't have any pets, so we talk to the cuckoo like it's our pet.
Yeah, Cuckoo, hi. So basically, like, I think in more old school casting scenarios, like more New York than
right
in LA. Like,
it does sound like an old fashioned story,
but it's not, because it happened to the actress who plays Princess. But by the way, like,
isn't England old fashioned? Come on.
I don't know. All I know they're not old fashioned when it comes to the vaccine, because they fast tracked that shit, and we're still waiting.
Too true, old shoe.
What? All right, so my point, like, I feel like in nowadays, there's so much casting, especially with the pandemic, where you're just sending, like, a disembodied video.
Yes.
Like, you're not making relationships. A lot of casting used to be relationships.
Yes. You would see the same people over and over again, and then they would keep you in mind, and then it's like, I know there's going to be a perfect thing for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still part of it, but the cynical side of me is like, oh, if you have a YouTube following, you'll get a whole sitcom made for you. Or whatever. I mean, that does happen.
I know, but they do that. It's funny because that came up today I recorded with Scott and Lauren earlier today, and I don't think this was on the episode. I think it was this was during a break or something.
In case people don't know, Threedom.
Yes.
It's his other podcast.
Free wherever you get your podcasts. That they make these, like a lot of times they make these projects centered around these sort of internet sensation people, but then they don't realize nobody's thinking far enough ahead, saying like, maybe they don't have more than this to offer. Like, what would a whole show with this person be like?
You know what they think they have to offer?
Is the followers.
3 million subscribers.
Yeah, but it never, but it, I mean, time and again, it doesn't translate, It doesn't translate.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it has or not. I haven't explored those.
I can't. The only sort of success story I can think of along those lines is they made a sitcom out of shit my dad says.
Right.
But that just ended up being like kind of a generic sitcom. It didn't have much to do with the Twitter account.
What happened to that writer? Does he still write on TV? It could be a success story.
I don't know.
He may have gone.
Well, it might be a success story for that writer, but that's a different thing than we're hanging a show on this visual personality that everyone seems to like online. Whether it's Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. That there was recently here in LA. Was this earlier this week? I think it was earlier this week. A COVID testing station got shut down.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because they were filming a remake, a gender-swapped remake of She's All That, starring a TikTok personality.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Also, the fact they shut down
and then they got shamed for it so hard, and then they had to reopen that station.
Well, guess what? They shouldn't have shut it down in the first place.
No. People had appointments and stuff like that.
Also, if you're going to do that, then move the station. Say we're at the parking lot next door or something.
Yes. Move something. Also, don't remake She's All That with some TikTok star.
I never saw She's All That.
I never saw it either, but no one needs a remake of it. The other one's still around.
Well, okay, so.
But also the story, the idea of unless it's also the guy is gay as well, but the idea of a dude getting a makeover and becoming popular, who wants to see that?
I don't even know this. I don't even know the premise of.
If you want to see that, rent just one of the guys, which also features a woman in drag as a guy.
Oh, it does.
Yes.
I didn't see that either.
Honey, your cinematic education is sorely lacking.
Well, my point is, apparently, some actors, not me, get selected to star in series
after being readers.
After one day in a casting office. After they see person after person who is tedious and not, Now, I was reading...
Tedious and dull.
Mostly opposite men. So, they may have already had the part cast, for all I know.
Right.
The female.
Right.
But this is going to be such an anticlimactic story, but my point was, there was one guy. So it's actually a good practice to do the reader thing if you get the opportunity, if you're an actor, because you sort of get to be a fly on the wall during the audition process, and there's a lot to demystify around it. If you're an actor, you're most of your life is spent being rejected, number one, but number two, trying very hard to demystify the process because it is utterly mystifying. I don't think there's even a way or pattern around it, but if you do get inside a room where you get to see the audition process, it somewhat does help a little bit, but there's just no rhyme or reason a lot of times. But anyway, so there was this actor who came in, and these were people that were reading. It was like a pilot. It was like pilot season or something. And so like these are like top tier actors that get into these rooms and, you know, like try for these leading roles or whatever. And this was in New York, so it's like a lot of New York actors. And this one guy, he like asked to do it, I want to say like 10 times. And the cast,
like stopped and started, like that kind of thing.
Like he did it, and then he's like, "Wait, I want to try something else. Like, can I do it? You know, I want to do it again. I'm going to do it again, or whatever." And like the casting person was like this veteran casting person, and she was very indulgent. Of I'm sure she's like been around way more high maintenance act, you know.
And I'm sorry, was he getting through the entire thing and then saying, "I want to try it again"?
Yes.
Okay. Not like starting and then saying, you know what, that's not right. I want to.
No, it wasn't a long scene anyway, but like, and I was like, and I'm so different as an actor, like to the point where like, if I get through it once, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if they ask, do you want to do it again? I'll say no. Like, I'm like, I don't want to give any more. First of all, I think this might be true. This might not be true. But, like, they know in the first... I've heard this, so it might be true. Because I've heard it a lot. Like, they know in the first 30 seconds or not whether or not you fit whatever profile they're looking for this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, so if you come in and you're wrong seeming for it, they might watch your whole thing and think of you as talented and funny and be like, oh God, I wonder if she's good for this other thing, or, you know, I'll put her audition through anyway or whatever. But they have information about what the producers want or looking for. Right. Yeah. And so it was just crazy. Like, he asked to do it so many times to the point where I was like, oh, he's like, it felt like he was sabotaging I don't think he thought he was sabotaging his chances. Mm-hmm. I think he thought he was like showing that he was like a perfectionist, or like he could do different ways, or he was just like so focused or hyper. But like, to me, he was demonstrating that he was like difficult. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly. Because you want people to have a handle on their interpretation of the role.
Oh, but he kept asking.
That's not the time to find it.
He kept asking her all these questions. Like, he was like, do you think he's da-da-da? Like, he was like really showing himself as actory, and I was like, oh, like, if I were casting this, I would not want to. Like, I want to work with the person who comes in and is a little like, here, meh, and then is like, so, you want to hang out after? You know, like, they're fun or whatever. Yeah. I don't know.
The thing is, like, that type of approach that this guy was doing has a time and place, but that's not the time and place.
Also, like, his approach, as you say, it didn't even feel like it was an approach. It felt like it was just part of his own, like, neuroses.
Right.
To be, like, completely overly perfectionist about, you know, his take, as opposed to just, like, this is me. Mm-hmm. These are the tools I come to the table with. Yeah. These are the tools I come to the table with. They're pretty cool. Mm-hmm. They might not be cool for this, but they're pretty cool.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I don't know. Like, it was just like very, it was just kind of, I had never seen anything like that before. It would never occur to me to even take up somebody's time in that way.
It's pretty bold.
And also because of the age that he was and everything, he was like a middle-aged leading man type.
Well, I did not see that coming at all.
Oh, you didn't?
I just assumed he was a younger actor.
Wow. No, I got the feeling that this is how he was.
Yeah.
That he was like, this is my process, and this is like, you know.
I mean, was he a working actor? Do you remember?
They all were working out. I mean, we were in New York, and it was like, he wasn't like someone I knew, but like in New York, like so many actors are working actors, you know, because the
Law and Order franchise.
I mean, to even get in that room to read for a series regular in a pilot, I feel like to get to that level, like to be seen by this particular casting person that like work for like a network, a major like ABC or something.
It's like a real life Michael Dorsey from Tootsie.
Oh my God, I love that movie so much. I love Tootsie so much. Like that movie is an amazing movie.
I feel like there's aspects of it that don't hold up that well.
No way. You mean because it's kind of gross that he's like gropey on Jessica? Like it's like there's no consent there. Like in a way?
No, here's what it is. It's the idea that a man has no choice. Has no choice but to dress up as a woman in order to get employed. Now,
but he was different.
I
Remember,
was
his
just going to
character
say. I was
was
just going to say he was very difficult, and so. But the idea that he can succeed more as a woman who's difficult, who's opinionated and speaks her mind.
I thought it was
Do you know what I mean?
Kind of like a refreshing take. Like kind of like
I think it was at the time.
Yeah.
At the time. But I think
like
now,
isn't that funny? Like a woman she's like a woman but also like he did get like discriminated against here and there, and it gave him a perspective.
Yes,
when he was dressed up as
exactly. He gained an insight into being a woman that he didn't have before.
Yeah, which I thought was I mean it's like there's all kinds of stories like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like yeah. But
I thought it was strange I thought it was wild that they did a musical of it.
It was
and
weird.
set it in the present day.
Oh, I didn't realize it was set in the present day.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely because they changed it to. I think that Tootsie in the musical becomes a Broadway star, not like a soap opera star.
Okay.
So they're taking some liberties with it, but the idea is still like in the 2000s.
I like the premise that he dresses up to become a soap opera star because I think the world of soap opera acting is fascinating.
I could not agree more.
Do you remember the movie Soap Dish with Sally Field?
Do you know I don't think I've ever seen the whole thing.
What?
I've seen parts of it.
Oh my God! And Kevin Kline.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Kathy Moriarty.
I really like that movie.
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yeah. Well, I like Tootsie a lot. I think that movie is awesome.
I think there's still great stuff in Tootsie.
Oh my God,
I think
Terry
it's still
Garr.
really well made. Oh, Terry Garr was the greatest.
The greatest.
I mean,
Those
she's still
scenes,
alive, but she's not really working
You
anymore.
know, I met her. I went to her house.
Yeah.
I used to do this. I think I maybe mentioned this for 5 seconds on here. I used to work with these crazy comedy guys. Some of you might know David Feldman. He has a show called The David Feldman Show, and he's on this lefty radio station, or he was. I think he moved to New York. Does he think he still does it?
KPCC or
KPCC out in the valley, and it's like super lefty, and like he go on and like you know,
super liberal. I would not say it's super lefty.
You don't think it is?
No,
he is.
He is.
He is.
Yeah, but it's not like KPCC is calling for the abolition of capitalism or anything.
Yeah, I think they are.
Really?
Yeah.
They're that left?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're like that left.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember, but he had this show.
They do run ads for Antifa.
He did. Anyway, so he would have these sketches, and he knows all these comedy people from his life in comedy.
Yeah.
And so I'd go there. How did I even get connected there?
Honey, I don't remember. I don't remember.
I don't remember how I got. I'd go there once a week.
Yeah.
And all these awesome comedy writers, they'd like write these sketches, these political sketches, and then we would act them out. Like I would play like Michelle Bachmann. Okay. And then like Paul Dooley would be the voice of God. You know, I love
Frank
Paul Dooley.
Conniff was on there.
Oh, I love Frank Conniff.
Yeah.
He says that he was my favorite writer, to be honest.
Yeah.
Of the group.
He's hilarious.
Well, he's just like a very skilled writer, and he's very like character oriented, which I really liked a lot.
Yeah.
They were all very funny.
Like Robin Williams came in one time.
I got to read with Robin Williams. I got to read with Martin Short.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We got to read with Terry Garr, but we had to go to her home because she has MS.
Yeah.
Kind of more advanced, like pretty advanced. And so we had to go there and record it there. Yeah, June Foray. I got to read with June Foray.
Yes.
She was lovely. Anyway, so I got to do this. It was just for fun. It was like I would go once a week. I think it was like Tuesday nights or something. And it was like my Tuesday night, like every night for like a couple years.
Tuesday with Maury's.
And
Tuesday with a dozen Maury's.
And you know what? David Feldman was always very kind to me.
Yeah.
And he was always like very like gracious and helped me a lot with my self-worth, like esteem, because I wasn't working like getting paid as an actor at the time. I mean, I was hustling. I was auditioning and getting rejected. I mean, I'm not actually now. So, but it was different then because I don't like my self-worth isn't so wrapped into it, but you know, he treated me like with respect, and that was really fun. But yeah, so when I got to meet Terry Garr and read with Terry Garr, like it was bittersweet in a way because she's a comedy great.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a comedy great.
Absolutely.
And that Tootsie scene, oh my God. He's like, and Bill Murray running around in his underwear. Yeah. Anyway, so that's Tootsie. I don't know why. But anyway, that came up because we were talking about he couldn't get any parts because he's a white man.
Right.
He's a white male and he doesn't. But in a way, it does kind of work because he's so entitled and he's so angry.
Yeah.
That he's like, I'm supposed to have all this. I'm supposed to be given this.
True. Very true.
And so there is like a framing of it that is modern and holds up.
Do you know what I'm thinking of? And I think it's things that kind of ripped off Tootsie and didn't have that depth of story. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Do you? There was a sitcom, and do you remember? I auditioned for this. A sitcom about two dudes who were both laid off from their jobs.
I have to open this can. Sorry.
Sure. And
club soda, y'all. Sorry.
It's weekend. It's the weekend.
My weekend water.
They were out of work and no one was hiring.
What was the name of it? I don't remember this.
I think it was called Men at Work, maybe.
That became an actual sitcom, I think.
Yeah, it is. It was. It didn't last.
But you were in it.
No, I wasn't in it. I auditioned for it. Here's the thing.
Okay.
It was two guys who were out of work, and the only job they could get was dressing up as women because this place was only hiring women to be like pharmaceutical reps or something.
Okay.
And so this dude who was the least convincing man in drag, like you would never just accept this guy. It was absurd.
You're saying he was unconvincing, but the buy-in of the comedy was that everyone just took him at face value.
Everyone accepted him as kind of a extremely tall, broad-shouldered, homely woman. Yeah, of course that was part of the joke. And
I love gender-bending comedy.
And so I auditioned. When I got the audition, I thought I was auditioning for the best friend, who is the other guy who dresses up.
Let me get. Oh, the other guy also dresses up.
It's this guy gets this idea. Then
like
he gets
buddies.
Yes, exactly. Then he gets his friend in on it after he gets the job. And so I like prepared these fucking sides for this thing that I thought was stupid. I did not think it was good. And when I showed up, they said, "Oh no, we had you reading for like the crass friend, who's like the third guy."
Was the crass friend like, y'all are stupid, you're gonna get caught, this is a dumb idea?
I don't remember if he knew about it because I never read his sides until that day. But I said, can I still just do this because I prepared it? Like at the time I was like, I'm not going to be snobby about auditions. I'm going to do whatever. A job is a job. You know, I'm going to, if they offer me this thing, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I don't want this job, but I want to do a good job for these casting people.
Right. And if you got the job, you would suddenly want that job.
And it was, well, I don't know. This one I don't know. But the people that I was auditioning for was the producers, the guys who wrote the show. They could not have been nicer. And I said, I thought I was doing this part. Can I just do it for you anyway? Mm-hmm. Because I really did work on it. You
worked on it.
I worked on it to make it as good as possible.
Like a challenge to be like, I'm
absolutely
dressing up as a woman or
absolutely.
Whatever.
And I was well, it's not that, but it's like a challenge to like overlook my reservations about this being like kind of tone deaf and not good, really.
Okay.
And to make it as funny as I could make it. And I was very into that challenge at the time, you know. And so they let me do it, and I did it. And they were like, that was really good, you know. But I was not that guy.
Okay.
I was not that guy. And so they said, now here's the sides for the other guy. I was even less that guy. Like, comedically, I did it. I was able to do a better job being this dude, this dude, you know, who's like the friend of the main guy, than I was to be like this crass, like, you know, let me tell you about women, like that kind of dude.
Right, I would not cast you as that dude.
Yes, and when I finally saw the show, I watched an episode of the show. I was like, well, yeah, of course it's that guy.
Wait, who was it? Dave Kegner?
No,
I would cast him as that guy.
No.
He could do that, right?
Yeah, he could do that. Sure, he could
Or
do that
like,
in his sleep. It was nobody you know.
Okay.
It was nobody you've ever seen, which goes for the entire cast. It was not people that you were familiar with, you know, because I don't think the people really wanted to do this. And I remember, like, Wilmer Valderrama, they were in talks with him to play one of the roles, which when you saw it was like, oh, no, they just got, like, another Latino guy.
Right.
Like, clearly Wilmer was not going to do this. But that was absolutely ridiculous. Like, the idea of, like, oh, poor, like, white men are being shut out of these jobs. Like, this is the lengths they have to go to.
I get it. I mean, like, on the one hand, like, I could see, like, a framing of it where it's like, you know, we want to expose, like, gender politics.
Right.
And it's sort of, and men are usually the ones that don't, like, understand what women go through. So it would be funny to put these, like, bullheaded men. I mean, like, it is just like,
it's a very simple idea.
It's a very simple comedic premise
Yes.
that is probably gone back to, like, Shakespearean.
Yeah, and it's gone through like, Some Like It Hot and Bosom Buddies. It's gone through various permutations over the years.
Sure.
You know.
I mean, look, I don't mind. Like, obviously, I love Tootsie. Tootsie
Right.
is, like, executed in a way and written in a way.
Yes, I think
But
that
those
there's.
actors are at the top of their game.
I would be interested in watching it again to see how well it holds up, because I haven't seen it in a while.
It totally holds up.
When's the last time you saw it?
Maybe, like,
1982.
no, like 5 years ago or so. Like, I
Right.
would watch it tonight.
Right.
Like, it totally holds.
Well, we have other
Also,
things to watch tonight, but I will watch
I
it
am
soon.
kind of a Dustin Hoffman fan.
Yeah.
So, like, I really love, like, him.
Uncancelable. They tried to cancel him so many times.
I think he was just, like, mildly a jerk, though, right? Like, he didn't, like,
Yeah.
he didn't commit any crimes.
He didn't commit any crimes, but he was
not cool to Meryl Streep.
He
and
was
that's,
not cool
like,
to Meryl Streep. He's apparently been gropey and grabby with people, and
So he didn't learn from his Tootsie experience.
no, you would think. You would think, but no.
I mean, is that true or proven? I mean, like, what was the real story? I know Meryl Streep said that he was kind of a jerk.
Yeah, like he slapped her to make her cry
Well, that's
or something
messed
like
up.
that. Like, that's fucking ridiculous.
He did that? That's messed up.
Actors who like want to do something to help you with your performance, it's like a fuck a you.
I don't mind that if there's a conversation of, like, hey.
Well, that's completely different. Of course. Of course. But it's never. But that conversation never happens.
I've, like, also, like, I have, like, a kind of, like, I've heard this said before, and I kind of agree with it, that method acting is like a male privilege, like,
Yes,
thing.
for sure.
Like, you don't, like, if you were, I think Brie Larson said this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say that because I don't know if it was said publicly or not, and I may have heard it.
Maybe she just said it to you.
No, well, you know, she did direct.
I tell you
Okay,
what, though.
whatever.
I tell you what, though. It might not have been Brie Larson. It might have been whatever. I know this story from hearing it out in the world. So
Just
it's
that
not
women, women stars.
you're not telling tales out of school if you tell.
Okay,
the
so
story.
basically, like, the reason that is the case is because if I'm the star of this movie and I come on the set and I'm like, guys, nobody call me Janie.
Yeah.
I only want you to call me Queen Elizabeth, you know. And also, in addition to calling me Queen Elizabeth, I want you to bow to me
Right.
when I come in the room, even if we're not rolling.
Right.
And please don't speak to me while I have my headsets on, I'm working, and you know, like all of these sort of like demands of making people kowtow to your process or whatever is like a very specifically male like privilege thing.
I'm sure that when
like women did that, you would be called difficult.
Yeah.
You'd be called a bitch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I'm sure like so many actresses, like what's her name? Sean Young.
Yeah.
I mean, was she was like decided people didn't want to have her anymore.
Yeah.
Or whatever because she was difficult or whatever. And then you find out like maybe she was actually just professional or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
I'm sure like when Charlize Theron was playing Eileen Wuornos, I'm sure she still had to be nice to people on the set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she wasn't
or maybe
like,
not because she's so beautiful. She has beauty privilege on top of.
But she wasn't. She was so famously ugly in Monster.
I just think like
a literal monster.
So like I actually enjoy stories about method acting as long as I'm not around them. Like I love the show Succession so much, but I like did read a story about Jeremy Strong that he is a method actor.
Mm-hmm.
He is like admittedly a method actor.
Yes.
And in the final,
oh my God, he admitted.
In the final that season finale where he goes in the car goes into the lake in England in the winter. It's like the middle of winter, and I mean this isn't even like I think it's on like the behind the scenes of HBO things that you watch. He like didn't want them to warm the water because he wanted to like physically feel
right.
Like the cold.
Like the water they dumped on him to make it look like he had just come out of a lake.
Yeah. So, and like, meanwhile, I'm sure they were like, they allowed it because it was like the final episode of the season. But meanwhile, they're like, if our fucking lead gets a cold and we have to like, we're pushed
if
like
he gets
3 days.
pneumonia.
Yeah. But like, I'm sure he was indulged because number one, he's a white male. Number two, you know, like it was the final episode of the season, and like number three, people think actors know what they're talking about, but like we don't. Like it's not like there are ways to achieve performances.
Well, you could pretend. I mean, here's the thing. Maybe this is what has held me back from being a hugely successful actor, but
No.
I'm not gonna fucking dump cold water over my own head to pretend to have come out of cold water.
I mean, it depends. Like maybe if they're like, do you want it to be cold or warm? I might be like, okay, put the cold on me, and then I would show being cold, and then I'd be like, then put the warm on me, and then I would show being cold, and I'd be like, does it look the same? And if they were like, yeah. It looks the same. I would be like, you know what? Let's go with the warm. Because I bet this is going to be a long night. It's the night shoot.
Who wouldn't want like
it's like a night shoot.
A lovely bath dumped over their head?
It's a night shoot. It's going to be a long time. This has been a long season, and like I'm terrible at night shoots, and like I probably would be like, yeah. But maybe that's.
Can you CGI wet on me?
Can you?
So I don't have to get water on me at all.
I don't like begrudge anyone their process because I think acting is personal and it's challenging or whatever.
Do what you want, but it's not. But here's the thing. The only thing
I will make fun of it privately with my
absolutely,
friends,
or here on a podcast.
Yeah,
I think the only thing about that is acting is not. It's not the only job that's happening on the set, and I feel like.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to really look at those demands that you're making because it's a collaborative art, whether you're talking about the stage or the screen. There's a lot of people that are making the thing happen. And it's like, if you're taking up too much of that time, you are sort of, you're not respecting the idea. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
You're not respecting the idea that it's a collaborative art form.
I agree with that because a lot of people think it's basketball. I mean, a lot of people think it's tennis when it's basketball.
Yeah.
And I actually, and I don't want to speak ill of him, but I went to grad school with kind of a method-y actor. And he did at the time, and this is years ago, so he might be different now, but like he did at the time, he did not see the collaborative side of it.
Yeah.
And the reason I actually enjoy acting is because it's basketball and not tennis.
Yes, exactly.
Like, I
it's
think
fun
it's
that
like
way.
teamwork. It's like we're all telling the story together, and like we're all going to make each other look good if we can.
Yeah.
And, like at some point, like, when is it just your ego? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the whole idea is you should be completely egoless if you can, because the more egoless you are, the better vessel you are for telling a story. Like, you're not getting in the way as who you are of the storytelling. Anyway, whatever. I shouldn't get into like my high horse about acting and teaching acting or whatever.
No, it's
like,
I think
this
it's
is my
really
own
fun to talk
personal
about.
approach
Yes,
and
absolutely.
process and like, I thought of that guy that the reader or whatever. And yeah, that like led me down that fun. So vamp a little because I have a fun announcement.
Well, we should wrap it up.
Yeah, and I have to go get the information on my fun announcement.
Go get the instrumation.
Instrumation?
Yeah, you heard me. Go get the instrumation.
That's the title of the episode.
Tried to. How dare you?
The instrumation?
Okay, the instrumation.
Really?
Yeah, who cares? Why are we titling these? All right, so listen, we are, I'm trying to think if we have recommendations this week. We've been rewatching The Crown. So that's not a great recommendation.
I actually have a recommendation.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, guys, if you're streaming like your HBO or whatever, or however you get your content, Murder on Middle Beach docuseries about an unsolved murder made by the son of the victim is so good.
All right, I do have to check that out because I have not watched it. It's 3 episodes, right?
3 episodes so far. And
so far.
There's 4 total, so the final is Sunday, and
Okay.
I can't wait. I'm on a text thread about it. I've been down a Reddit rabbit hole. I have my own theories.
An RRH?
Yeah.
Well, I can get caught up between tomorrow and Sunday.
Oh, yeah, because it's 3 episodes. And what's funny is because I don't usually watch the true crime stuff with you unless there's like nothing else going. I'm like kind of talking. Like, that's not really, I like all the true crime stuff a little bit more than you.
Yes, we sometimes, our viewing habits diverge. Jenny watches more true crime.
I watch all true crime.
Sorry, I misspoke. Jenny watches all true crime. Oh, I wanted to recommend, because I don't think I have, Auntie Donna's House on Netflix, which is
that you're in.
a crazy sketch show. It's so funny.
I can't wait to watch it.
It's an Australian trio. These guys are really, really funny, and I did a day on it. I got to be in an episode with my dear friend Tony Newsom, and I just had a ball. They're really funny, and I started watching the whole series from the beginning, and they're just really, really funny and smart and silly, and
see it.
It's a fun show. Yeah,
I think Comedy Bang Bang produced it.
Yes, Scott Ackerman's company, Comedy Bang Bang Productions,
David
produced it.
And
Ed Helms was one of the producers as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's really funny. And so if you haven't checked it out yet, do check that out on Netflix.
So if you don't follow us on Instagram, I
feel sorry for you.
Suggest that you get your little swipey finger ready, okay?
Gross.
And go to stayfhomekins. And if you don't know about our collaboration with Kinship Goods, where we sell our official podcast merch.
That's right. Kinship Goods is the official home and creator of Stay of Homekins podcast merch.
Well, guess what? Because it's the holidays, Stay of Homekins and Kinship Goods together are doing a special giveaway. So on Monday, we will be posting all about it on Instagram at Stay of Homekins and on Kinship Goods. So basically, you can enter to win a little like swag box of official Stay of Homekins merchandise, like a t-shirt. It'll come with a t-shirt, a mug, a mask, some stickers. And the winner,
Christmas stuff. Who gives a fuck?
Wiener. Who gives a fuck about Christmas?
Christmas.
I'm going to have COVID parties in the White House. The wiener will be announced on Friday. And all of the rules of the giveaway will be posted on Monday on both the Stay at Homekins Instagram and the Kinship Goods Instagram.
You better observe those rules.
So basically, you'll have to follow both accounts, like the post, and then tag a friend.
Those are the rules.
That's usually how those Instagram giveaways go.
Come on, let's be grown-ups about this. That's how they go.
But this is like a fun giveaway, you guys.
Yeah.
So, like, oh my gosh, you get to tag friends. And we're also on Twitter at Stay at Homekins. We have a wonderful Gmail account, stayatfhomekins@gmail.com.
It's a wonderful Gmail account. Please do stop by our Gmail account. You're going to love it.
I love, I do read stuff out loud sometimes to Paul. I'm like, listen to this.
We're getting scandals. People are gossiping on there.
People are
I mean, it's something else.
People confess a little.
There's a lot of confessions.
People confess or they vent, and it's like it's actually very lovely in a way.
It is. We love hearing from you, and we're really grateful that you listen to the show. We hope everybody is hanging in there during these tough times, and that hopefully you're having some fun during the holiday season. We'll be back next week. I mean, what else are we going to do? We'll be back next week.
If we survive the week.
Honey, great chime in. In the meantime, stay safe, stay sane, and stay home.
And stay good to yourself and love one another. And don't be mean. And stay healthy. And count your blessings.
Okay.